Welcome to the Dead Pixel Society podcast, the photo imaging industry's leading news source. Here's your host, Gary Peugeot. The Dead Pixel Society podcast is brought to you by Media Clip, Advertech Printing, and Independent Photo Imagers.
Hello again and welcome to the Dead Pixel Society podcast. I'm your host, Gary Peugeot, and today we're joined by returning guests, Coree Cooper and Calvin Harrell. They're coming to us regarding the SPAC conference, which if you don't know what SPAC is, we're going to learn about that. And if you know when the conference is and why it's great, you're going to hear about that too. Coree is the SPAC gal who runs the day-to-day operations of that great event. And of course, Calvin is the president of the organization, and they're going to share with us first, Calvin, the history and what SPAC is, where it came from.
Wow, you don't want the full history now, do you?
No.
Hey, good afternoon, and thanks for having us, Gary. We really appreciate your continued engagement throughout the industry, not only for our organization, but for all of the organizations that you seem to bring information together and provide to us. You know, SPAC comes from a similar mindset and position. SPAC was started in the 1950s, so it's way back in the film days. In fact, it was large format film at that time, 70 millimeter or otherwise. When I joined in the 82 or so, it was a group of about 15 to 20 different photographers, mainly California. And we had a couple of people from Nevada, and then in particular one came out of Kenny, came out of one of the labs back in the Southeast. And it was a great group of people. We'd meet in a hotel room, and we'd get a suite and meet in a hotel room. It was an excuse to get away and to get together. And we share information, what schools were and districts were doing what, and how was innovation taking place, and that sort of thing. SPAC has evolved over the years, and I've been an officer and in leadership for quite a long time, actually from the 80s. And we've evolved significantly. And about 12 or 14 years ago, we brought Coree on because we really anticipated a series or a period of significant growth that was growth potential for our organization. It wasn't that we were really doing anything differently, although we are, because we're a nonprofit. None of us getting paid for doing the work that we do to bring forth this conference. But we saw that there was a significant transition in the way business was being done and in the way organizations were actually dissolving, meaning the trade organizations were actually dissolving during a period of time.
Absolutely.
And so at that time, we said, hey, look, we're going to be growing. And Gary and I and Marty got together and we said, hey, we need to bring somebody in. And that's how Coree came to us. Coree happened to be someone that I knew who was the wife of a vice principal, but I knew that she had other engagements with other organizations and in leadership of those organizations are managing. And so I said, I think I have someone. And I made a phone call and we negotiated a deal. And Coree said, I'm in. And that was how this whole thing came about, where we are today. Since that time, last year, we had our largest conference. It was our 70th anniversary, and we had well over 1,000 people there. We even have a big portrait, group portrait that was taken on risers by one of our members. We all went out and loaded up risers, and it's a phenomenal picture. That picture is going to be super big and on display at the conference. So SPAC is become the preeminent conference for volume photography programs in the world. In fact, we have people coming from all parts of the world, from South Africa, from Europe and England and South America. We have people that actually come from everywhere to this conference. We've had them ask us, and we've granted them permission to use the SPAC name and the SPAC acronym because it seems to carry some value and weight throughout the general industry. So at this point, we are the largest conference and the most economical conference. And what I mean by that is the value for the dollar that's paid out. We have early bird, which is over now, unfortunately, but we have early bird pricing on through regular pricing. The conference is held in the last weekend of January, I think it is. Corey, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's actually the week before the last week. It's the week of St.
Okay.
Martin Luther King. So we actually officially start on the 21st.
And you put St. Martin Luther King on there. It's the week of Martin Luther King holiday, and we check in on a Tuesday, and we come out on the following Monday. But the conference actually runs from Wednesday through Saturday evening.
Yeah.
And Corey's going to share with you some information about
Mm-hmm.
the excursions and a host of things that we're doing. We're
Mm-hmm.
looking at the biggest trade show we've ever had. The key thing that folks really have to focus on is this trade show is designed for volume photography.
Right.
That means the providers of volume photography. You're not going to see wedding albums and a lot of other stuff. This is going to be the real meat and potatoes of a segment of the photographic industry that has been the most stable and repetitive of any element of our industry.
Actually, I would make the argument it's probably one of the most innovative and interesting areas of the capture side of the business at the very least, at
Hmm.
least when you compare it to, weddings or portraits or other things in terms of
Absolutely.
just some of the technology, some of the e-commerce platforms, some of
Sure.
the software that's being used. It's really kind of where everything is kind of heading right now is in the volume space, at least I think, especially when we talk about things like, AI and
Yeah.
and just e-commerce, print on demand, all of those things are coming to a head at SPAC. So
Yep.
so Calvin,
Yeah.
this is a
Yeah.
long established organization, like you said, 70 years. But at your conference, I think it's you said about 20% of your attendees are new almost every year. It's people entering the business.
That is correct.
I like to mention that we offer a scholarship every single
Right.
year.
Yeah, there is a scholarship program. When is the deadline for that?
The deadline's already passed, and we've already selected. This year, the board has selected 40 people who are first-time attendees to SPAC.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wasn't eligible for that.
Again, we had over 150 applications
Mhm.
this year.
Yeah.
We have a committee go through them and decide who are the lucky 40.
Mhm.
And we do that as a way of, again, building our industry up.
Mhm.
Well, one of the things that we're conscious of is, let's just say back in the day, for the sake of language and words, back in the day, a photographer could build a business and he built it up into a certain size and he could sell that business to a major player. Oftentimes,
Yes.
that transition has taken place now. We have to create the people that are involved in the business to be able to sell our business too,
Right.
because so if we don't bring in new blood, new
Right.
people
Right.
that are looking to grow their businesses, those that have long established businesses don't have as great a value. Obviously, I'm saying this is one of the benefits of bringing new people in, is
Right.
so that we're bringing people that are engaged in the business, that are looking to grow their business. One, they can learn from experienced people, but
Right.
another piece is we're creating an actual audience that we can sell businesses to as we move through and decide, hey, you know what, it's time for me to retire, to slow down,
Right.
or whatever the deal might be.
Yeah.
But it gives us an audience to sell to within this organization.
And just within the climate of that business, right, the volume photography industry, you've got, quote, a major, unquote, player who's gone through some challenges over the last few years, and which has created a lot of opportunity for businesses to take away business
Absolutely.
from them. In fact, when I was at SPAC last year, a lot of the conversation was with some of the SPAC attendees was, I can't grow any faster because I
Correct.
just have so many people and so much ability within my business. So the business is out there, which creates the opportunity, which creates, of course, interest in SPAC.
Value.
I think also another point of view is that the board feels like these newcomers to the industry, it's hard to transition from a wedding photographer to a school volume photographer.
Right.
The business models are different, the marketing is different. Even the actual shoot day when you're going to the school and setting up and taking, all of that is much different. Lighting is different. You have to be able to watch head size. So we feel that is if we can provide the best education to help newcomers to the industry get trained on the proper techniques,
Right.
the proper words, what's an RFP, all these things that they're
Right.
going to hear in this new industry. We are helping the independents.
Yeah. Which I think
Yeah.
helps everybody, right? It raises the bar
Right.
for
Yes.
everybody, and I don't know if it grows the whole pie per se, because as I just had one of the vendors explain to me the other day, you know, they're not building any more schools. We're not having that many more kids. It's kind of a market, so you got to find ways to either become more profitable via becoming more efficient, or sell the ancillary products, which I think is the other piece of the business, where you've got people now selling banners and mugs and Christmas decorations and holiday ornaments and everything else with those pictures, which, again, that's creating a whole new opportunity for volume photographers to increase their sales and profits. And that's what they're going to see at the trade show, is on the
I
floor
think
is a
that it
lot of
was
that
also
stuff.
the reason behind over 10 years ago them adding the sports component to SPAC.
Right.
Because SPAC was
Mhm.
pretty much school photographers. But
Right.
then we found a lot of volume guys who were doing the sports business, the T&Is and all of those banners that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And we thought, this is kind of marries well with our school photography. It's
Yeah.
volume photography. And so bringing in that sports component also really added to the community.
Yeah.
And there are those of us that have been around a long time that recognize that a camera on the shelf makes no money. And so if you're only shooting during the school season, and then you put 10 cameras on the shelf and they're dead until the spring, that's not a good investment, let's just say. So you take the exact same equipment effectively for doing TNI sports group photography.
Right.
Why wouldn't you do that? And one of the things that we're recognizing also is when we talk about percentage of participation, average order value, and that sort of thing, the sports segment is a very, very good one. In fact, it's oftentimes better than the actual school services segment for
Mhm.
a variety of reasons, because there's fewer service items, there's fewer points of contact, etc. It's
Mhm.
not necessarily a stable, because you get boards that change and everything else happens
Coaches
much more
turnover.
frequently.
It's yeah.
Yeah, much more frequently. But other than that, it was a natural marriage.
Mhm.
One of the things you talked about the ancillary items. You talked about yearbooks is a major one for many of the school photographers that are selling their yearbooks directly to their schools. And in January, I'll be introducing through with another organization a digital yearbook product
Mhm.
that's never been seen before. And it's unbelievable what is now available, what we're capable of
Mhm.
in the imaging world as it relates to these volume segment.
Right. So, Corey, let's pivot a little bit to the event itself. For the
Okay,
basics, so we know we covered it earlier, but let's just get through the basics of
sure.
when is it and where is it?
Okay, so it's in Las Vegas and it's out the
Okay.
South Point, which is only about a 10-minute ride from the Strip. And we have discounted hotel rooms and also discounted resort fees. All of this information is on the website. It is January 21st through 24th. So Wednesday is pre-con day. Pre-con is an all-day class that kind of revs you up for the regular conference. It's an
Mhm.
additional add-on to the regular conference.
Right.
And we do cover the basics, schools 101, sports 101, volume 202. This class is designed for people who've already know the basics, but now they're looking to be, rather than a single operator or two owners, right? They actually need to hire a staff. How do you scale my business to
Right.
grow? That's the class that you need. We also have sales training. Now, our sales trainer is a professional sales
Yeah.
trainer. He's not
Yeah.
a photographer. And that's a great class for you if you have any sales reps that need to learn how to sell.
Mhm.
And then this year we have an international track. So Calvin mentioned that we've had other SPAC pop-ups, as I
Yep.
like to call them. We've had them in Germany, we've had them in the UK, we've had them in South Africa. They're mini SPACs, usually one day, one
Right.
room, whole bunch of speakers. We are bringing them all back to SPAC, back to the mothership, so to
Right.
speak. And we've given them a track as well, because some of the business topics are a little bit different when you're talking about an international basis.
Sure.
So that's just basically Wednesday, but we do start off with a kickoff party. We're giving everybody
I'm
the
shocked to hear
opportunity.
that. That's shocking to me that that would happen.
We got to get together and we got to
Oh,
get through the hey, how was your year conversation before we start learning, which is
Yeah.
Thursday. Thursday, full day of education, 5 classes happening at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Agenda and session descriptions are all on our website.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday night, we have our beautiful awards dinner, sit
Yep.
down dinner, and we have a party afterwards, of course. Great entertainment I booked for this party.
Are
Friday
you
again,
revealing that now or?
you'll have to wait a week or
Okay.
two.
I was going to say it says to be announced on the website. It doesn't say yet. So,
No,
and
but
by
it's
the way,
going to be,
but Corey, and by the
yeah.
way, I want to plug this in. I'm not going to speak to a specific vendor, but we have vendor partners that are absolutely unbelievable. They sponsor the nighttime parties, the cocktail parties, the entertainment at the parties, and that sort of thing. They actually, that's in addition to their normal booth fee, that which is still a great rate for the booths, but they sponsor those things just to make sure that everybody is enjoying themselves.
mhm.
So I just want to plug that in. Our vendors, we truly appreciate them.
Yep.
Right. So then when we move into Friday, we have classes in the morning after breakfast, but then, which is very different than most shows you've been to, we have a dedicated trade show,
Mhm.
meaning once trade show starts, which is at 11:30 on Friday, and we stop all education. We don't want you to have to choose between
Right.
learning something and engaging with an exhibitor. We give that time dedicated to our exhibitors, and they also have sideshow rooms, which is their own sales presentations in smaller rooms. Trade show, we have over 100 vendors, 40,000 square feet, a lot of demos running in the booths. You'll have everything from lighting to backdrops to e-commerce to printers to am I forgetting any of the major categories? We've got even gear for tripods. We try to cover it all,
Mhm.
everything that you might need in your business.
Yep. I mean, even like packaging and envelopes and all of
Absolutely.
that stuff. Yep.
Absolutely. Vendors for all of those are there. And one thing that you missed on the educational side, Corey, the walkthrough, the
I'm
workflow
going to go back to
walkthrough.
that. Yes.
Oh
Yep.
man, we see so many people online asking questions about what do you, should I do, etc. What equipment should I use, this, that, and the other. And so 2 years ago, I think it was, we put together a program that's a workflow walkthrough where you'll get different manufacturers' camera equipment, different manufacturers' lighting,
Mhm.
different background systems, extraction pieces, just the whole nine on what's it take to get a school picture day done. Here, put your hands on the camera. How do you like the way this feels?
Right.
And it gives you
Correct.
much more understanding of what we're doing.
The room is set up with individual pods.
Mhm.
Every camera, every pod has a different camera, a different background, different lighting, and a different capture system. So
Mhm.
you can walk from pod to pod and do a direct comparison of which system works best for you, because we know that there's not one system is the correct
Right.
system. It's what works for your business. At
Right.
SPAC, we just want to give you all the best options.
Right.
Yes,
And that's on
that's
Wednesday.
exactly
Now,
right.
keep in mind, folks, aside from that pre-con class that I just talked about, everything, including your meals, is included in your registration price.
Mhm.
There's no other additional unless you want a pre-con class, or
Mhm.
I'm going to move on to next our Tuesday fun excursions. Those
Right.
things individually on their own. You also get one-on-one coaching. We offer every attendee an opportunity to sign up for a 15-minute session with a coach of their choice, either a person specifically or a topic. We'll marry you with the best coach depending on your topic.
Okay.
You can sit down with that person for 15 minutes and ask them all your pointed questions about your business and get direct feedback. And most of our coaches end up mentoring throughout the year. They check in. I remember Michael Rack one time told me he sat down with a lady who needed to write a business proposal. She was going from a wedding photography into school photography. She got her first preschool, didn't know what to do. And Michael Rack sat down with her and they wrote a business plan. And every year, Michael Rack still meets with her because now it's become a relationship that's moving forward.
Mm-hmm. And then then the last day of the event is Saturday. And that's another full day. I mean,
yes, it is.
For a lot of shows, the last day is a half day, but that's actually a full day.
And we give away all of our grand prizes at closing ceremony. And this year, again, Sony has donated a camera to give away. Panasonic has donated a camera on top of I think it was like $30,000 worth of products. And when I mean products, I'm talking about tablets and computers and laptops, not just more gear that you probably already have at home.
Right. And one of the highlights for me in terms of just kind of great sessions to just watch as a spectator is the Queen/King of the Hill session, which is completely unusual and weird. And I really want you to talk a little bit about that because that's something you just don't want to miss. How does that even work?
Okay, so everyone always says to me, Coree, what is Queen and King of the Hill? So Michael Rack and TJ Rack was the one who developed this. And it's kind of like a spitball fire of your best idea to either make or save you money. Those are the two premises. Anybody in the audience can pop up and say, here's my idea. You become the king and the audience votes. The next person pops up, they pitch their idea. The audience votes whose idea is the better idea until we finally run the gamut of the room and we end up with one king or queen of the hill. But the ideas that come out of that session are just insane. I've seen people in the back row sitting there writing down every single idea.
Right.
I'm sure, Gary, you've gotten a few.
It's just the whole premise of the whole thing is interesting because you're really getting direct feedback on what the ideas are. Unlike, other sessions, it's a typical session, right? Somebody's up there talking and you really have no idea whether it's a bomb or it's a hit. You got to have some pretty confidence in your idea in the first place to get up there and know it's going to get voted on.
Absolutely. But one of the keys is that I'm aware of is that oftentimes we have our own ideas that we have processed for ourselves. But our world, quite candidly, no matter who we are, whatever the sophistication or knowledge we might have, our world is relatively small. It's within our own world. When you can put it out there into the space, you can find out what the feedback is going to be like. What's the trigger that somebody says, wait a minute, if you did X, it would work this way. So it just gives you a better gauge of what creates a successful idea.
Right. So you kind of glossed over it a couple times, Corey, but you didn't really go into details on what the excursions were on Tuesday.
Okay, so we're in Vegas. And a couple of years ago, people are like, hey, Corey, I'm coming to Vegas. It's my first time in Vegas or whatever. What can I do if I come early? So I thought to myself, what can I offer a photographer in Vegas? Well, have you ever seen any photos from Valley of Fire? It's about a 45-minute bus ride out a little bit to the Red Rocks. And we have it hosted by Panasonic. Suzette Allen will be doing 30-minute presentation on how to capture photos in natural light. We bring 3 models with beautiful dresses. They get up on the Red Rock, so anyone with their own camera can take photos for their portfolio. If you don't want to stick around for that and you want to go ahead and take an hour hike, there's easily areas for you to hike to. We also give you lunch and we provide transportation in a charter bus. So that is the Valley of Fire excursion. A little bit later on the other side of town, we used to do a golf tournament and it was fun, but you're stuck with the same 4 people for 18 holes. Not really engaging. I like people to engage. So we've gone ahead and did a buyout at Atomic Golf, which is kind of like a spin on Topgolf. We have a whole floor, 8 different bays. Every bay is a different kind of a game. Every bay is actually sponsored by an exhibitor. So you'll be engaging with exhibitor, and we hit some golf balls. You get some food, get some drink, you mix and you mingle. Again, provide transportation as well for that, because we don't want anyone drinking and driving.
Right.
New this year is later in the evening, we are having an excursion to the Neon Graveyard, which is where all the old neon lighted signs from Vegas live. Again, it's a huge Instagrammable place. A lot of people who go out there, again, with cameras, right? So again, I thought it was another opportunity for our photographers to get out and do something different in Vegas that's not gambling and losing money. And again, charter bus for that as well. So those are the excursions that we're offering on Tuesday.
And even there's actually plenty to do at the South Point. I mean, there's a
Oh
bowling
boy,
alley, there's a pool. I mean, there's stuff to do even there that's not gambling.
movie
Oh, yeah.
theater.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
free comedy show on Friday night at Dirty 30 at 12:30.
Yeah.
It's a free comedy show, which a lot of people go to. You're going to see also, once you register, we have an event app on your phone, Hoova, which is basically a virtual spot for you to start meeting people. You can create your own agenda by saving the sessions you want to go to your personal calendar. I already see at least 100 people meeting up at the Silverado Lounge Bar at X day at X time.
Right.
So it's, again, we create atmospheres for people to engage and network, because we know a lot of education goes on, but we know that most of our learning happens when we engage with one another.
Right. And what's great is you got those opportunities for those newcomers to come and, find a friend. So somebody who's new to the business doesn't feel intimidated. They're going to run into other new people who are looking for friends, and also established people in the industry who are looking to mentor some people.
Exactly.
We don't offer an award system, a ranking system, or anything of that nature within our organization. And part of our reason for that is because we want parity. We want anybody should be able to talk to anybody without fear of, oh my goodness, look at all the salad they have. Look at all the medals. I can't talk to them. I'm too little. I'm too small. Well, you might be small today, but you might be the one that's going to grow if you mentor with this person and then buy their business later on. Who knows?
I mean, that's one of the things. I mean, if you look around the room and you see, certain people who have come, some of these third and fourth generation companies, and they're wearing jeans and it's a regular shirt. There's no pretense that they're as successful as they are.
No, you've got people that are doing, one school to people that are doing 3,000 or 4,000 schools.
Right.
Holy smoke. That's a huge gamut, and you think differently as you grow your business. People find out that you have to think different to do 50 schools rather than 5, or 100 schools or 500 schools. You have to change the way you're thinking, not only the way you do business, but the way you think about business. It's an engaging environment, and we purposely kept it this way so that we would have the ability for people, especially new people, to learn as quickly as possible. There is a premise also that was founded with the idea to keep young people and new people coming in. And that premise was, if they go out and they screw up a picture day, that school could say, you know what, we don't want this ever again.
Right.
And now you've got to go sell them on even doing the process, let alone using your company, because they had a bad experience. So this helps us to get around all of that and try to help people have success every day.
So listen, I think we've covered the gamut of the event and SPAC.
I have one more thing.
Oh, Corey. Well, there's always one more thing. Corey, there's
always something new with SPAC. So everything we've talked about, we've been doing now for a couple of years. But what is new this year at SPAC?
Corey, what's new at SPAC this year?
SPAC Zone.
Okay.
SPAC Zone.
Tell us what that is.
SPAC Zone is going to be located up at the exhibit hall, but we've created a space with couches and high tables for people to have private conversations. The trade show floor is really big and can be very loud,
Right.
and it's hard to find somewhere to walk off and have a conversation.
Yeah, especially at the new location because it is
Right.
up and away.
Right. So SPAC Zone is a zone that's going to be created for all of you. In it, we are going to have a cornhole tournament on Friday. And we are also going to have some other games in there like Jenga and other things. Bars are going to be located in there, as well as that's where all of our happy hour food on Friday night will be served.
Okay.
That's also where you'll meet your coach for one-on-one coaching. But this SPAC zone is created again for that networking, for that conversation, that small group conversation that you can actually talk and connect and share information and maybe have a little fun. Maybe you want to beat someone's butt in Jenga or something.
Oh, no, that sounds great. So listen, I'm ready to sign up. Where do I go for more information to get my registration going for SPAC 2026 at the South Point in January?
Everything is online at www.spac-usa.org. The room discount code, the registration, right now registration is at $559. The price increases. It ends November 30th. It goes up on December 1st. So if you want to lock in that low price, do so now. If you are bringing some 4 or more people from your company, email me because we do have a discount code for groups over 4 from the same company.
And where would that email be? What would that be?
SPACgal@gmail.com.
There you go. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you, folks, for your time and your energy and your dedication to making SPAC successful. Because it's a, I wouldn't say it's a thankless job, but you're certainly not remunerated for it. So thank you on behalf of those who enjoy SPAC.
Thank you, Gary. And also, by the way, we have a weekly broadcast on Tuesday. We're live on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Every week we talk about a different topic. And the next few weeks, we will be featuring some of our speakers that will be speaking at SPAC. The whole agenda, their session descriptions, everything is there. If you've already registered for the conference, it's now time to download that Whova app and get going on your engagement because a lot of people are setting up meetings and things like that. So join us because we'd love to have you.
All right. Well, thank you much, folks. Appreciate your time and looking forward to seeing you in January in Las Vegas.
Have a fabulous Thanksgiving, man, and thank you for having us.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Dead Pixel Society podcast. Read more great stories and sign up for the newsletter at www.thedeadpixelssociety.com.